Hello and welcome. I'm Stephen. I hope you're enjoying the heat. I'm not. I can't really be dealing with it. Um, but today we're going to talk about City's season. We're going to review the season, talk about pep, touch on transfers and things of that nature. First, please do like and subscribe and ring the notification. Initial thoughts on the season. Well, I think we have to go back to the start of the season and think where we were. We're coming off a bit of a iffy one the year before, finishing third, final of the FA Cup. Spent a few quid. Players like Reinders came in on top of the winter transfers of Nico Gonzalez and Marmoush, Kusanov, and Victor Hayes. So was I don't think we're ready to win the league. My prediction was we finished third, second was doable, and third if everything went our way. Everything didn't go our way, but to finish second, I think was good. With two cups, excellent. No ifs, no buts about that. No caveats there. But the last 16 of the Champions League, along with the other pretty poor results that we had in it, Leverkusen at home in particular and Bodo Glimt, were really disappointing. If we had a great Champions League group campaign and got knocked out of Real Madrid, you go, okay, fair dues. These things happen. But I thought overall, the Champions League campaign was pretty poor. So I give the season 7.5 out of 10. And I think that's fair. And I think when it come down to a lot of it was lack of squad depth / trust. Now, opposition fans look at our squad and go, "You must be mad to complain about City's squad depth." But those people probably don't watch it very often and don't see the likes of Savio coming off the bench, Reinders coming off the bench, things of that nature. Reinders wasn't the player we thought we bought. He just isn't, is he? He just wasn't. I saw him in the Club World Cup on the first against the season. Think, great, first month or so, probably could have one or two more goals. Maybe that changed things, but physically he's not up to it. You can't run, you can't win duels if that's what you can't tackle. You can't really finish, to be honest with you. Outside of a few here and there. So he was pretty disappointing in a lack of an option. Nico Gonzalez, despite some good performances in the season, I thought he was key to our good run. Clearly isn't fancied by Guardiola for whatever reason. Yeah, he's obviously slow, isn't he? Obviously, but he's a good enough Premier League player. You thought he'd be able to play a little bit more, but no. Marmoush sort of the same issues really. Flashes of good here and there, put in with some bad. Never really got a run. Too good to sit on our bench. So the lack of options that we had that Pep either trusted or just weren't good enough probably did for us in the end. As you can see with the over reliance on an unfit Rodri. It was a big problem, wasn't it? Going back to when he came out from injury, play, injured, into weeks, play, injured, then injured again for ages, comes back to the FA Cup final, didn't like he ever played football before, Bournemouth away, struggled. So squad depth, over reliance on Rodri, lack of faith in the options that we do have didn't help. However, on the positives, the winter signings really helped. When you think of where we were, was it Newcastle away in the cup, followed by United away. We had Max Alleyne, Kusanov at the back. So then to go and buy Mark Gay, go and buy Semenyo, they really pushed us on. Along with the development of Kusanov, but title winning defenses aren't typically built on 20-year-old players from Uzbekistan, 21-year-old players from Uzbekistan with 18 months of Premier League experience. Are they? That's not a criticism of him. It's just not how it is. They're usually built on the likes of Diaz, Gvardiol, Rodri and Kovacic and John Stones and Nathan Ake. Unfortunately for us, they are either long periods injured or in Ake's case, intermittent injuries or can't really play that often. So it's a lot of quality and experience that was just simply unavailable to us. which again goes into affected squad depth and how we can compete in the league and the Champions League. But like I said, 7.5 out of 10 for the season. And from a new manager coming in, who we'll touch on shortly, it's a good base, isn't it? It's a good base. He's got a lot. He's got a lot there to be working with. Best performance of the season? There's a few, isn't it? I think Liverpool at home, United at home, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Arsenal in the League Cup final. What would you go for? I think it's a toss-up, really. I mean, I might be forgetting a few, so if I am, do comment below. But it's a toss-up between United at home and Arsenal in the League Cup final. And you don't get a cup for beating United, do you? So I'll go for Arsenal in the League Cup finals as my best team performance of the season. The worst. There's quite a few to pick from, whether it's all those draws over Christmas and New Year, Forest at home. Where do we start? I mean, Real Madrid away was bad. Bodo Glimt away was bad. Villa last game of the season was bad. But to me, hands down, has to be United away. Has to be United away. The circumstances, they're a caretaker manager. They're not very good. And we got hammered. There were no hard luck stories. It wasn't, oh, they got a dodgy penalty at the end. Nah, they tated us from start to finish. Donnarumma was man of the match. I did a 40-minute video on my own of a review of that game. 40 minutes. I sat looking at this camera and spoke about the game. Go and have a look at it. It was, oh God, I could probably do another 40 minutes now, so I won't go into that. But yeah, I just mentioned Villa away then. Obviously, Pep's last ever game at City. It was very emotional to see him go, Stones, Bernardo, etc. So the game as a whole, first half was good. Second half, disgrace. I thought our players just showing themselves up. It's not like, I just thought they were really bad, really bad. And some showed up how slow they were and when they feel like when Nico, whether they compensate, etc. But I'm not going to get bogged down in play ratings for that game. It was glorified friendly. But I just wanted to, I do want to touch on that VAR disallowed goal for Foden. I'm still not entirely sure what happened because that the image they show is onside as far as I'm concerned. So did they just show the wrong image? Is he offside, but they haven't got that image available to show us? Is that how it works? Because I'm still at a loss almost a week later. But fucking nightmare there, is it? But obviously with Pep going, you get the 115 balls who come out and say he's running away and all that shit. It's also pre-season, so all you do is get post-season. All you do now is get transfer rumours and 115 gossip. Fucking forget it. It is what it is. When it comes out, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it then. And then the inevitable conversations of who's better, Ferguson or Pep. Waste of time talking about it. Cats don't care what dogs think, right? And City and United don't really care what each other think. United fans will say Ferguson, City fans will say Pep, and everybody else doesn't give a shit, no matter how much they pretend. So it's a waste of energy talking about it. It's like comparing trebles. Waste of fucking time. City will say City, United will say United, nobody else cares, right? Forget it. And I appreciate that doesn't make for great YouTube videoing, but that's just how it is. So Pep achieved everything possible, really, in my view. I don't have any hangovers about any deep regrets what he could or couldn't have done. Could have beat United a few more times. Could have won a few more FA Cups, maybe. Could have done this and that. But it's a price on the ticket with Pep in it. You get some good. It is how it is. Sometimes you go out in a blaze of glory, but most of the time it works, right? Most of the time it works. And it's big shoes to fill, isn't it? It's big shoes to fill. And it looks like Maresca. Nothing's been announced yet as of 10:21 on the 29th of May. So what do we think? Is he a stopgap? No. Stay with him as manager. He's manager. City's been a fortune over the years, over the recent years. in the anticipation of Pep leaving, with Kusanov, Gay, Semenyo, Mahmoud, all that. And I'd like to spend a fortune this summer as well. They've just built a new staff. We've had a good season this year. The idea that they're going to go, oh, by the way, Haaland as well is on a multi-year contract. But, Doku looking for a new deal, Rodgers looking for a new deal. The idea they're just going to go, well, do you know what? This guy here, we know him from once upon a time. We're going to get him for the next 2 to 3 years. And if and when company comes available or whoever it is, I just find that sort of incompatible with reality, really. The Pellegrini Pep trick cannot be repeated. And I just don't see it happening. Maybe we'll be here for 3 years and go, and it coincides with company becoming available or whoever. Maybe or maybe he's no good, and we sack him off after 18 months. Or maybe he's really good, and he's here for 5, 6 years. I think the reality is probably somewhere in the middle. But the idea that they've just gone stopgap, I mean, forget it. Forget it. But company at the Pep sort of farewell parade at the Court Live. I mean, I'm not sure Bayern Munich fans would think that. It's a bit weird, isn't it? It is a bit weird. But never mind. If company comes at one point in the future, great. If it doesn't, then that's just how it is. But back to Maresca. He's an inexperienced manager. Really. Coached us for a couple of years. Do you have some time in Italy? A year at Leicester, year and a half at Chelsea, and then he all blew up. I mean, style of play, Leicester didn't really like it when they got promoted, and they got over the line, but they didn't really like the play. They got a bit boring at times. But managers change, managers develop. So maybe he has learned. I'm talking about learning. I didn't like his outbursts before he left Chelsea, and you need to learn from that. I thought that made him highly unsuitable to be City's manager with City's structure. I couldn't. I just do. I'm not having it. Outbursts like that. I'm not having it. But it does look like he had some sort of preliminary talks with City prior to that. So maybe he saw his way out and thought, right, I'm off. I'm going to get out of here. Settle with them. Draw a line under it. I don't think it's as easy as that, is it? Hence Chelsea's legal action potentially, or Premier League action rather than legal action. But we'll sort of see where that goes. I imagine it'll settle with someone giving someone a big bag of money, or his agreement with Chelsea just simply says you can't sign with someone until whatever 1st of July or whatever it happens to be. I can't imagine the covenant goes much beyond that, really. Arteta left us as assistant manager and started with Arsenal the next day. So the restrictions aren't that tight in football as they were with a director of football. Look at Dan Ashworth and people of that nature, 6-7 months guarding league, So I can't see that the covenants being much further than the 1st of July, if there is any. But talking of lack of experience, that's what brings me on to transfer, because it's not having an inexperienced manager if I suppose your team is highly experienced. Say, let's go back to Chelsea when they had Cech, Terry, Lampard, Drogba, SCN, whoever else it was. They did quite well with ABB in that way, but he did with when Roberto Di Matteo came in. So they can sort of lead the team themselves for a while. I think Towns probably have moved on. But with Pep leaving, obviously, Stones, Bernardo leaving, there's a lot of experience walking out the door. And I'd get rid of Kovacic tomorrow. I've had enough of him. But he's experienced. There's another one. So there is a limit, isn't there? And then there's talk of Ake going, and Diaz going, and Guardiola going. Now, I know, listen, it's transfer rumour season and all the rest of it. So it probably is a bit pinch of salt. And every summer we have, there is always a list of players who are going to go. It very rarely works out that way. But look, I can talk to him individually now. So you look at Ake, he's got a year left his contract, injured a lot. Could he just stay here and be a squad player for another year, then walk out in 12 months and get a big bag of money somewhere else? Yeah, probably. Probably not worth selling him, really. If he's happy he's being a squad player, I'm happy to keep him. Diaz recently signed a new contract. whilst he has been not his best for the last 12, 18 months, I put a lot of that down to not having Kyle Walker pulling around the shit from a pace perspective, but that's to do with team structure, maybe not necessarily his own ability. But from a leadership perspective, experience perspective, like I said, he's recently signed a new deal, keep him here for another 12 months, and then see where the land lies after that. And Guardiola, he's been linked to a move away. I can't see that happening. He's young, he costs a fortune. I can't see us selling him. And he's been out for a lot of the season, so it's just not on, is it? It's just not on to be injured for a lot of the season and then go, right, I'm off. Sorry. No, it don't work like that. You don't get to the best facilities provided to you. Your wages paid in full, and then go, right, I'm off. No, that's not the done thing, in my view. However, that isn't to say we don't need to trim the squad. The squad does need trimming. From a numbers perspective, I think it is heavy, but a bit imbalanced in places. Plus, we also need to raise some funds for what we need to do in the summer. And some of the likely ones that are going, you look at Savinio to Tottenham. Seems like it's a goer to me. Seems like it's a goer. If he wants a lift down there, I'm available. It just hasn't worked out, has it? We bought him as this young kid from Twa Girona, the City Football Group. Let's see how he goes. First few weeks, he looked all right. And after that, he probably looked shit. Fucking no else to say, is it? The amount of times he gets knocked off the ball, the amount of times his decision making is poor, the amount of times his work rate, running back looks shit, his body language looks shit. Yeah, listen. If he does go to Tottenham for whatever it is, 50 million euros, and given what Anthony Gordon's gone to Barcelona for, or is going to Barcelona for, I mean, all bets are off when it comes to transfer fees. But let's work off of that 60 million euros, 50 million quid. If he does end up being a world beater, then fair play to Spurs for taking the risk, seeing something that I don't, and fair dues. But the distance between it now and him becoming a world beater is miles away. Miles away. So by the time he got to that stage, we'd probably forgot he played for us anywhere. It's going to be 3 or 4 years down the line. We'd have moved on. Everyone's moved on. His goal return is frankly pathetic. His goal threat is pathetic. So what's he doing here? We need to be winning. We're looking to win everything, and mess about people who scored 2 or 3 goals. I'm just not having it. I'm not having it. Time to move on, my friend. Time to move on. Nico Gonzalez, as I mentioned earlier, I quite like the guy. I don't know why. I think it's all right. Everton away, he struggled. Villa, he struggled. He's just too slow, isn't he? He's just too slow. Are we going to get the money back we paid for him? Probably not. Where's he going to go? Don't know. Who's got the dough? Who's got the dough? Anyone in England want him? Don't look like it, does it? Doesn't look like it. Maybe sort of Villa, that sort of level, but outside of that, he's not going to get his wages back in Portugal, so forget that. He's nowhere near Barcelona, Real Madrid level, so forget that. He's good enough for Atletico Madrid, maybe, but that's it. No one else got any money in Spain. That's it. Germany, Bayern Munich, no. Dortmund, no. So you run out very, very, very quickly. If you take the Premier League, you run out of options for these people. So I don't know. Maybe he'll end up staying. But I'll tell you who should have Premier League options, and that's Marmouth. You could get in Villa, Newcastle, and Spurs team. I think he'd do very well for each of them. Villa are in the Champions League, so presumably should have some money. Ollie Watkins are getting younger. Marmouth should be good. Newcastle sold Gordon. Voltamari is not the player to replace Isaac. Marmouth's got some pace, and Spurs apparently are spending. Are ready to spend this summer, or maybe Atletico Madrid if they do sell Alvarez. So I think he'll have a few options. I think he'll go. No question about it, really. I don't believe the wages are up. I don't believe wages will be a stumbling block because I don't believe the wages that have been reported. I read somewhere 290 grand a week. Bought the guy from Frankfurt. What's he on there? 70. And I was abandoning these this number around like he's nothing. But there's no way he's on 295 grand a week. He'd do it for half, wouldn't he? He'd come for half. So I'm not having it that he's on that sort of money. I reckon he's about 150, something like that. That's the going rate for sort of Villa, Newcastle, Tottenham, Atletico Madrid players, I imagine. So yeah, send him. Yeah, I think he'll go. James Trafford, I'd have to stay, mate. I'd say, sorry, we've got better things to do than look for second choice goalkeeper. You'll stay in. End. However, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. He's been linked with a few different clubs. Whoever it is, City will get a nice whack for him. And it's been rumoured that we're going to replace him with Piers Charles from Sheffield Wednesday. Now, about 3-4 months ago, I listened to two separate podcasts. One was a sports business podcast, and the other one was not a City podcast, I don't think. And both independently mentioned this guy. And since then, his reputation has grown and grown. And, right, okay, if he's a business, go get it. Celtic have been linked with him, where presumably he'd be number one. He'd be number two here, so he's got decisions to make. The ways he'll be bigger at City, the chance City can do a better. It's been more than Celtic. So I don't know, but I expect if Trafford goes, we'll get someone of that profile. I don't think we'll go for the sort of Willie Caballero, sort of we're going to buy an experienced second choice goalkeeper. I don't think that. I think the sort of Trafford model, the younger one with potential who is good, is the better one. So we'll see about Trafford. Rico Lewis, he needs to go, doesn't he? Just not playing. I thought looked decent in the first half against Villa. But so what? Reinders, very disappointed. Not the play we thought we were buying. Weak, wet, can't really score, can't really do anything. That daft fucking smile gets on my nerves. And we need to sell him before it's too late, before people realise how shit he is. Because we could sell him now and say, listen, it didn't work out. He best played in Serie A last year. It's not worked out. It's all Pep's fault, system manager, fucking all the rest of it. If you can't do it after 2 managers and 2 seasons, then we're lumbered. So, yeah, we need to sell before it's too late. I get whatever we can for him, off anyone. But yeah, where's he going to go? Where are people going to go? Obviously, he's incompatible with the Premier League, so no one buying him there. No one in Spain's got pots of pissing. Germany, forget it. So back to Italy. And they're all skint members, aren't they? They're all skint members. So what are you going to do? I don't know. What needs to go? We'll talk about Inze before we go. I think that's what we'll do. Talk about Inze before we go. Elliot Anderson, great price of toppy to me, but, Barcelona think it's appropriate to spend 18 mil on Anthony Gordon. So what do I know? Looks like he's coming to us. And let's get him before the World Cup. And that's side of Bowen needs that. I do think we need another midfielder on top of that, though. Well, whether that is Enzo Fernandez or not, I don't think so. Apparently City have ruled it out. I can't see it anyway for a variety of reasons, not least because TalkSport reported Chelsea want £120 million for it. So that's like 150 million euros. Forget it. No one's paying that. No one is paying that. Happy just early this summer, things can happen. He just don't have the prime, but he's come back to training, all the rest of it. Well, the reality is, Real Madrid are not going to spend 150 million euros on him. They are not. They need their head tested if they even consider it. Good enough player, decent enough, innit? But he's half the price. 150 million euros, 120 million quid. Pay half. And I consider that a bit toppy. But, that's a going rate, isn't it? Fucking time wasters, these people. Honestly, I don't know where the evaluations from. Well, I don't know who we are going to get in midfield. We're linked with Mazza from Leverkusen. Don't know the first thing about him, to be honest with you, so I'm not going to waste my time talking about him. What was it? Enchinhorn from Hertha Berlin. Now I've got a soft spot for Hertha Berlin. I go and watch him a couple of times this season. I don't remember seeing this. I've not been this year though. I've not been this. Well, I've been to Berlin. I've not been to what's heard of the fixtures in the line. So I've not seen him in the flesh. But Bayern want him, City want him, Liverpool want him. Sounds good to me. And we got a guy from Hertz's youth team, I think, on our youth coaching staff. So maybe there's something they could do there. Well, Hertz haven't got any money either. So, I think he's probably first come, first serve, isn't it? First come with a decent whack, gets in. And then it's up to him then what does he want to do career-wise? What comes to City? They go out low. Does he go straight to Bayern? What does he want to do? I don't know. We'll find out, won't we? We'll find out soon. Jan Diamandou in league with, again, 90, 100 million euro player. Another winger. Fucking never seen him play. But there's not a lot of experience on that list, is there? I want someone with CVs, mate. I want someone with CVs. Someone with CVs. Someone with medals on the table. Walk in the door like Donnarumma did. That's me. I'm here. But maybe we've got enough of them. Maybe we've got enough of them. And to buy them costs a fortune. So we've got Donnarumma, Diaz, Gvardiol, Arnold, Foden, people like that. Oh, we've also been linked with Pedro Porro. Pedro fucking Porro. Hey, what is he? Decent off, isn't he? What? He's fourth bottom. I'm right, but let's see a fourth bottom of the league. I mean, is he better than Nunes? I'd go for a younger professional right back, one who can defend and then worry about the rest later. Because Pedro Porro is not for me. But from a profile perspective, I suppose he can take a set piece, can't he? And we desperately need one of them. Desperately need someone who can take a set piece. Our set pieces are pitiful. And how they just jog up to, you have a go, I'll have a go, we'll go shots, you have a go, your turn. I've 4 or 5 of them in one match. They're specialists. So that's my view. I think it's bad for experience. Get this Anderson deal over the line. Then we'll have to look at people who could play sort of wing. When it goes for a winger, he can then play centre forward. Andy Gordon, something like him. But looks like Semenyo's going to have that role. When he goes scoring winger, again, they're not easy to come by. But I'm not a professional scout, so I'll let somebody else worry about that. But I think defence is all right. We've got opposite left back, whether it be Gvardiol, O'Reilly, centre back Kusanov, Diaz, and Mark Gay. They're all right, and they can also and Ake can play both. Right back, Kusanov will be desperate, or Nunes. So the right back, 2 centre midfield players, and a goal scoring winger. But then maybe Foden goes on the wing and he scores a few and everything's great. And Cherki's playing attacking mid, everything's great. So we'll see how it goes, won't we? We'll see how it goes. But this is going to the last video now until something interesting happens. So this is it for last season just gone. So we'll do some transfer videos, I think, in the summer. And then we'll see how pre-season goes and we'll take it from there. So if you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. Please do like, subscribe, share on social media, tell a friend to tell a friend. Have a good summer and I'll see you intermittently in between. Thank you very much. Take care.